Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. How are you doing? Oh my gosh, it jumped. I only got a few messages and it already jumped. What the heck, YouTube? So, how are you doing?
Oh wow, there's so many comments already. Okay.
Yeah.
We're good, I think. We had this talk before coming on live. Yeah.
Yeah, we got some technical issues that are resolved.
Sounds much
Hello.
better. Hello.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
sound good
so much
now.
better.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey everyone.
How is everyone today? I'm okay. I'm still working. So you know, but I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, I was telling these guys that I had a very long walk because it's so nice and sunny in England. So I feel like the dopamine and the happiness, but I'm also super knackered. So it's like two sides.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. We also took a really long walk with the dog this afternoon, and now I just like if you see me squint with my eyes, it's because I'm just tired and my eyes aren't focusing. So I'm trying to read the comments, but it's not working. So if you see like me occasionally me doing this, it's because I'm reading the comments, but because I'm like half blind, at least without my contacts. So
No
It's
worries.
all-
We won't judge. We know.
I don't know how you're gonna read the book though.
I can just like have the book here.
Oh, that's not good.
Healthy reading positions. You heard it here.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Sasha, I think you wanted to put up that 4 a.m. comment. I also saw it. I was like, wow, someone's dedicated.
Yeah, John is always there. Whatever the time, he's always there on everyone's live. That's just insane, John. Thank you so much, but you need to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's like 7. I'm like, I could have a nap, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, I am Dutch.
Wow. We're ruining
That's not
people's
just like.
sleep.
Sorry for ruining your sleeping schedule.
Oh.
Yeah, but go to sleep. That's fine. Femke, hi to your dog.
Well, he's downstairs, but I'm sure I have a picture. I have tons of pictures.
Yeah. I checked all my pictures because my phone kind of died and I needed a new one. And I wanted to transfer some pictures, to my laptop and whatever. And 99% of my photos were from Mooney, like of
Yeah,
Mooney. No
that's a move.
selfies, nothing, just Mooney.
Real love.
Mo.
Oh, he's so cute.
My dog says hi back. His name is
Aw.
Dex, and he just
Hello.
stole like a plant pot, like the nursery pots. That's why
Empty?
he was. Sorry?
Just empty, like.
Yeah, it was empty. Like we were planting the flowers in normal pots, and he just picked one of these nursery pots and just stole it, basically.
Dogs. Like, I always wanted one, but I'm like, I don't know if I can handle the chaos.
Yeah. Mooney does always that. Like whenever I'm in the backyard or whatever, she's gonna steal what I'm touching. Like
Yeah.
that's like a game to them.
Yeah. Also, hello, mede Nederlander. So nice to have you in here.
There are actually many Dutch people in the bookish community.
Yeah, I know. There's also quite a lot of people which I'm not sure, where they're from. And then they, turn out to be from one place or the other, and I'm like, like that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's hard to tell unless you have like a very obvious accent, like French maybe is easier to like
Yeah.
hear. but some are very like hard to hear. And I'm like, oh, but I love it when it's fellow Europeans. Just like, sorry,
Yeah.
Kira, still love you too. I just like fellow Europeans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it took me forever to figure out where Sasha was from. Like forever. And then I got a notification on the Twitter when you logged into the Daughter of Smoke and Bones Readalong account, and I saw that it was from Belgium, and I was so confused because I was like, it doesn't sound Belgian. I was so confused, and then I saw your video of you and Mooney walking in, I think it's Bosnia.
Yep.
And I was like, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that's quite a mess. Like, I'm Bosnian Slovenian, but I grew up here because I was born in 90, so 90, and the war started actually in ex-Yugoslavia. So my parents moved here.
Yeah.
And so I grew up with my dad not speaking French in a French like area, let's say. So at home I was speaking like Slovenian and Bosnian. Then I went to school. I learned French and Dutch. So it was like my accent is a mess. Like whatever language I speak actually. So so that's quite funny.
Yeah.
But and then you have my brother and sister who are younger than me, and they actually don't have the accent I have. So like when I speak French, so that's funny. But yeah.
Yeah, like it took me forever to figure out where you were from because I like just guessing based on people's accents.
Yeah. I'm a mess, so no worries.
Oh no, I'm not saying you're a mess. I love your accent, to be honest.
Not on purpose.
No, that's often the case, isn't it?
Mm. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, Ron from the States. Yeah. I think because you actually learn English very young, and most of you speak English very well, I feel. I mean, that's. I don't know.
I started learning it in like primary school. I think I was like 8 when we got our first classes. I mean, they were very, very basic classes, like, hi, how are you doing? You know, that kind of stuff.
Mm.
I think it was when I was 8. But I basically had trilingual education because I'm from the north of the Netherlands, so I speak another language, which like nobody knows. But yeah, I was actually one of the few people that also graduated in that language from like secondary school, high school, like, depending on where you're from, what you're calling it, I suppose. So yes, Lotte, it's Friesland. Yes.
No.
Yeah. I also like we learn in preschool, I think, but like when I'm like 6. But I think it was like very simple. I don't really remember it very well, but I think it's like you said, like just some words and like games and that kind of thing. But I feel like we always also learn like the same things when you graduate one school and then you go and they kind of teach you the basics. But I think a lot of it is like how much TV you consume, like how many books you read in English, just to like practice. And like I've been living in England for almost 5 years now, so it's like different as well, right?
Yeah, here I studied English when I was 14, actually, and didn't learn a thing at school. But because here in Belgium, we speak like French, Dutch, and German, so they want to focus on our languages first, and then English, which is fair. So
makes sense. Yeah, I think for us it's like English is the first. For Polish people, for context, English is the first language, the secondary language that you learn, and then we usually have another language that's foreign, but that's only maybe you're like 13, 14. So I understand what you mean. It's just like different for us. For example, I learned French for a long while and then German for like a year, which was really hard. But yeah, I think it's really important when the languages you learn very early, they're definitely easier to learn than when you start like.
Yeah, I get what you're saying because I also had like French and German in secondary school, high school, whatever. And we started that when I was like 13, I think. It was like first year of secondary school for me. So, but English, at least in the Netherlands, is one that's just included in primary schools.
Yeah.
Did you learn any other language, Kira?
I know like a very like small amount of Spanish.
Yeah.
And that was because like I took a semester of it in high school and 2 semesters of it in college, but like that's pretty much the other language that's really here is Spanish and English. We get some people that speak French, but very few and far in between.
I guess it makes sense, yeah. But do you not get like compulsory language, second language? Do you just choose it as an option?
It's an option. Now, when you're going for your bachelor's degree, like you have to have it in order to get into university, like in order like to get into a bigger university, you have to have it for your AA degree also. So, I mean, but unless like you're going to college, like unless like if you have no plans to go to college, like you can opt not to take any languages. So
it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I get that kind of a lot, but then people are so confused by my accent because I learned from American TV. I live in England, but like even like the family I live with kind of has different accents. So it's just like I heard Australian one time. I was like, Australian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and for New Year's I met my friend, my friend's friend, and he's American. And I said, "Oh, hello," and he was like, "Oh, where in America are you from?" I was like, London." No, but yeah, it was funny.
But then maybe also the vocabulary you're using sometimes, or the way you pronounce a few things. And when you're not a native, you don't catch the accent as easily, I would say. But some people sometimes they say, "Where did you learn English?" Because you don't pronounce the T. Like I would say Toronto or 20, etc. Because I lived in Toronto, so I got like some of the accent from there. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting anyway, because depending on what your native language is, it also impacts it a lot. For example, for Polish people, we have a lot of sounds. So like, like all those sounds I can make. So for example, for me, learning another language is kind of not easy, but pronunciation is easier. But my boyfriend, for example, he's English is the only language he speaks. And Polish for him is like, no way in hell can he make that sound because the muscles haven't developed like that. Yeah. So I just find that super fascinating. I learned like Mandarin for a little bit. And our teacher, she was in Poland when I was still back in like high school. And she actually said she likes teaching Polish people because we can make those sounds because they're like kind of similar sounds. Like language is completely different, of course, but sounds kind of similar.
Yeah, they say that about Slavic languages.
Yeah. Useful.
Do you want to start reading or doing whatever at 20? So in 1 minute?
Yeah. I was just curious because you, Sasha, weren't there for the live show, and I think we all want to know what you think. So do you want to tell us now or in the break?
Don't you want to know, like, as a recap at the beginning of the next show?
Oh, well, up to everyone else. Either way works.
Yeah,
I think as a recap, it would be better to everyone say what you thought, like in just a few words, and then move on to the second book.
All right, makes sense.
Okay, for how long do you want to go? 15 minutes? 20 minutes?
Shall we do 15 first?
15 first. I found some videos with a nice background. I want to share my screen. So we're going to try that.
Like ambience rooms and stuff. Oh, I love those.
But there won't be, like, do you want the sound as well? Because it might be distracting for some. I don't know.
I like the sound, but I don't know what other people think. Also, Lottie asked if it's okay if they read a different book, and yeah, do whatever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. So sharing my screen, let's see if it works.
Yeah, so it's not like we're discussing Days of Blood and Starlight here, so it really doesn't matter what you're reading.
Yeah, we're just chilling together.
Okay, you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Do it.
Hello.
Not sure if you know, but we couldn't hear the video.
Oh, you couldn't?
I couldn't.
No. I think it's because you have your headphones plugged in. I think.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I'm not very technically gifted, but
I will try without if you want.
I think it's alright. I'm not sure if there's like a way, because I know sometimes you can share with not like
Yeah.
sound, but sometimes you can't. Depends on the platform. Not sure about this one.
Yeah, it didn't ask if it was like, for instance, with Teams, so the platform I'm using at work, it asks if we want the sound or not, but
Yeah.
here it didn't ask, so
That might be a no.
yeah. I think that next time I will try to make a video so I can share a video I made so it's in there and not like sharing a screen. Might try that. Okay. How did you do? What are you reading? Who want to start?
well, I'm reading Days of Blood and Starlight, and I read 20 pages. I just didn't finish the 4th chapter. I have like half a page left to go, and I'm so sad. To be fair, I already read it, but yeah, I hate stopping in the middle of a chapter. So just I don't know. I don't even know why. It's like the end of the chapter or the end of a book. It's like not somewhere in between.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm very similar. I'm also reading Days of Blood and Starlight. And oh Jesus, I also just started and I'm on page 18, so I'm like 2 pages behind you.
I just started also, and I'm on page 14.
Nice. You, Sasha?
Yeah. I answered 15 emails.
Yay! Good job.
So that's
Quite a lot
good.
though in 15 minutes.
Emails.
Yeah, but it's just like yes or no, or just sharing a link or whatever. Like for work, we are organizing for the first time ever a huge digital job and internship fair for the students. So we have many companies participating. So we just have to set up everything through like a platform, and it's happening on the 28th. So it's like so many things going on, workshops, blog posts we need to prepare. So a lot of work.
Yeah.
Hi.
Online events are something to organize.
Yeah, but like the level of if it is hard or not is different. Like I've worked for festivals, so music festivals, and it was like stressful, but it wasn't as complicated as corporate events, I would say. So completely different. Yeah.
Alright.
So 11 pages here.
Mr. Mercedes.
Yeah.
Mercedes.
I don't know that book. So how is it?
Stephen King.
What is it?
Oh, really? Have you
Yeah.
read it?
No, it's on my TBR though.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's a trilogy, and Mr. Mercedes is the first one.
Never heard of it. But King has so many books, like it's hard to know all of them.
Yeah. 15 pages of 1,000 Ships by Natalie Haynes. Not sure how you pronounce it.
I don't think I know this one either.
It sounds familiar. Then again, my Goodreads TBR is endless, so
Isn't it the purpose of Goodreads and
yeah.
Oh, it's a retelling of the Trojan War from an all-female perspective, which sounds cool. You need to tell us if it's good. Once you read a bit more than 15 pages, of course.
Apparently, it wasn't yet on my TBR, but it is now.
I do love me a good Greek retelling.
Oh yeah. Have you read? Was it the last one everyone was talking about? Oh, I
I read
cannot remember.
Thursday as my last Greek retelling, I think, but that's
Oh, did you like it?
I really did. I think it's probably not for everyone, but I really loved it because I like that kind of meandering, prettily written
Which
story about like humanity. Like that's my jam. So I enjoyed it. Yeah.
which book was it? I didn't get that.
Circe
Seriously.
by Madeline
Oh,
Miller.
seriously, Madeline Miller. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, it just skipped
Alright.
a little bit for me, so I didn't get it.
No worries.
Yeah. I try to write reviews like every time I finish a book, but that never happens. So at the end of the month, I'm like trying to remember everything I've read, like everything I felt about the book, etc. So
Yeah.
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 I
I
feel
just
like I used to sorry.
no. Go ahead.
I feel like I used to like write it alright, like never long ones, but just at least jot down my thoughts. But since I have a channel where I almost always talk about the book anyway, it just feels a bit like I can't be bothered. But I probably should because I forget what I thought about the book by the time the end of the month comes.
Do you take notes or do you tab the book? How
I
do
used
you
to take
actually?
notes. When I started, I was really good about taking notes, just like bullet points. But lately, I'm just kind of like, just remember it, and then it doesn't work. It does not work, especially for books that I read really early in the month. Like I just forget. Just like, yeah, it was good, I guess. So I need to go back to my bullet point technique.
Yeah, I don't tab or do any notes, but for me, if I don't remember anything, it's also a good indicator of how much like I might have enjoyed the book, but it wasn't memorable in that case. So like it will not get more than 3 stars in that case. Like if I can't remember basically anything about it like in a month, then it wasn't memorable. So it wasn't I mean it was fine, it was enjoyable, but it wasn't amazing or anything. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like if you really love something, you really hate it, it like sticks in your mind and you know what you hated or loved, but it's just like okay, it's like
Yeah. Yeah, because I just caught up on writing Goodreads reviews yesterday, and there were a couple of books that I just literally wrote down like, okay, well, I'm just taking my rating down from 4 to 3 because I legit don't remember what happened in this book. And it hasn't been that long. So
very ruthless. I like it.
I'm actually generally pretty kind when it comes to reviews or ratings. I like round up more often than not. And I rarely ever DNF books, and I rarely ever give below 2 stars. But like, if I really, really hate a book, then I will be mad. I will be like really mad.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings is good, but
Oh my god, you guys. A proper Lord of the Rings. So I know I told you I went on a walk. So I went like to the bookstores because I haven't been. And like in England, charity shops are big. And I bought the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy for £7.50. That's like, I don't know if you know what that means in your currency, but that's really cheap. And they were really good condition too.
oh my gosh, you don't even have a book for £7.
No, like I googled the actual retail price, it would be like 20 quid. So like I saved a lot.
Yeah, I think I got my edition. Not sure if you can see them. Nah, they're pretty dark. They're like the standard this edition. I mean, this is not the Lord of the Rings, but it's like these editions. And these are pretty cheap because I think I got the entire box set of like Lord of the Rings 1, 2, 3 and The Hobbit for I think it was like €17, which is something like 14, 15 pounds right now, I think.
Yeah.
Give or take. I mean, I don't know the exact value or anything, but
Yeah, it's just because like I've never read them, and you know that there was that really pretty edition, like they were all combined. Like very recently came out like a really pretty
Yeah.
edition with like original illustrations and stuff, and I was like, oh, I kind of want it, but then it was so expensive, and like I have not even read the books. I don't know if I'll like them, so I was like, I'll buy this cheap. It's like the little edition with like the rings. Like one is like red, green, and I'm not sure, but they're quite small. I was like, okay, I'll get these, and if I really like them, then I can get a pretty edition.
Yeah, I think those are the same ones I have.
Mm.
Like the one I showed you was Unfinished Tales,
Yeah.
which is like not.
Yours is bigger though. That one's like pretty small.
Yeah.
Which one?
The one I have is like pretty small. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
smaller than a real book. Not real.
Yeah, it's like the
Well, I
mass
mean,
market
like,
paperbacks, I think. I think it's mass market paperback size.
Yeah, the writing's small.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
so
that's
much
why I
smaller.
give them an audiobook.
You need a magnifying glass.
That's like the normal size for a book, like translated in French. Like the
Really?
mass market. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for huge books. You don't have like taller books or whatever. They just started now because they started like keeping the English cover, like American or British one. They started to keep it when translated it. And even like the title stays sometimes in English. So
Really?
yeah, that's weird. But at least they keep the pretty covers. So
Yeah, I had the same the other day. It was for Storm and Fury by Jennifer L. Armentrout. That was recently translated into Dutch, and like I have it in like plain hardcover, but it's like way up there. It's like on the top shelf. And I just saw it in Dutch, and it was super pretty because the normal edition that I have is just a plain Dutch jacket. I mean, it's pretty, but it's nothing special. It doesn't have foiling or anything. But the Dutch one is really pretty foiling, and I was like, I'm so sad this one's Dutch. Because like
yeah.
Dutch publishers, at least for young adult books, are really stepping up their game lately. Also with like the limited editions of the Cruel Prince and everything. Like the third one just came out today. Those are really pretty. They have like exclusive art by like Morgana Anagrom or something. I don't know, but like also like big international artists in the front of the book and everything, and foiling and like gilded pages, gilded edges, and everything. Like they're super pretty.
That's really cool.
They also did the same for Addie LaRue, which is obviously not young adult, but that's really pretty as well. And I had to have it. Like,
That is pretty.
but the like under the cover, like you can't really see it probably, but this is like linen, and it's it doesn't show, but it's like a bit pearlescent, and there's
Yeah, we
foiling,
can see it
and there's
all.
also the art.
I love it.
So
So like Dutch publishers are really stepping up their game lately.
yeah. All
Don't
right.
have a few copies of that book, but you didn't like it that much?
I have like 7 copies of that book. No, 6. 6. I think I have 6 copies of the Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, but no, I didn't love it. But I do love like how pretty they are.
Yeah, gorgeous. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And like I don't
Yeah.
even read in
That's
Dutch.
crazy.
So
Wow, your editions must be like the OG. Well, not OG, but you know what I mean. Like really cool, old ones.
Yeah. So reading it with illustrations. My inner child
You
is
mean
so
Lord of the Rings?
I
That'll be
don't know. I think, yeah.
I think so, because that new one has the illustrations, which is really cool, and it looked so pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has so many editions.
there were like
Yeah.
2 different editions, and one of them was like £60 and the other 120 or something. Like they were really expensive.
Yeah, that's why I was like, considering I never read it, I probably don't need it.
To be fair, I have Lord of the Rings in 3 different languages, which I also don't need, but charity shops basically.
Yeah, I just don't have the space. Like once I have my own place with a nice bookshelf, that'd be nice. But right now I just have well, half my books are in the attic and half are just on like a one shelf. So I have to like be conservative.
Yeah. Do you all collect several copies of the same book?
Not really.
Depends on if I love it. If I really love it, I like having multiple copies of it, like to obsess over. Because sometimes like it's nice like having like, oh, maybe I'll read this copy this time.
Yeah, I only have it for my favorites, and I also just unhauled about 100 books the other day, and most of my multiple copies of the books that I didn't love, I got rid of. So, but regardless, like I still love how pretty Addie LaRue is, so I'll be keeping those.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah, she had a lot of nice covers. I really liked the UK one. I was gonna buy it, but then I ended up getting the ebook. I'm glad I didn't buy it because I didn't really like. I liked the book; it was okay, but it wasn't amazing.
Pretty unpopular opinion here.
I think that was most of us, because I think you didn't love it either, Sasha.
I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't like phenomenal. I was like, I know it's also because it was overhyped, and whenever a book is overhyped, I expect so much from it that I end up feeling like disappointed. So that's my own fault as well. But it's a beautiful story. Like I really felt for Adi at the beginning, but then it was like over and over, and a lot of things didn't make sense. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I really feel you on that. I think for me the biggest problem was that I expected something different than what the book was, essentially. So obviously that's partly my fault. So I might just reread it to see if I like it better, knowing what's coming, essentially. But I'm not sure. Like right now, I'm still too sad that I didn't love it to already be rereading it.
Yeah, I think it was a nice challenge, like a good challenge for the author. She tried something different, something new, something she never did before. So I really appreciate that, and it wasn't bad.
It's a bad book. It just wasn't for me personally. There were like specific things I would have loved to see differently that would have made me love the book more. But that's very subjective, obviously.
Yeah. Never listened to the audio version of Lord of the Ring.
I agree with this because I couldn't get through it like on paper. I probably read it at the wrong time because I read it at a time when uni was very busy. So whenever I was reading it, it's very slow. So like the descriptions would just like make me fall asleep essentially because it wasn't at that point very action packed. So listening to the audio really helped me.
4 copies of it.
Wow, it's a big book as well.
That's like half a shelf.
Yeah.
Like, if I was gonna get any like special edition, it'd be Pride and Prejudice. I love it so much, and I have that like vintage edition of all of Jane Austen's books. I don't know if you have them outside of England, but there's like the vintage, and they're so
very
I love them so much. Yeah, I was like, I bought them because they were pretty, and then I fell in love with her writing, and that's it. Well, I only read 2 of her books yet.
That's enough.
It's enough
to know that you're gonna like, yeah. That's an interesting idea to sell covers separately from the books for collecting pretty covers.
I agree with it.
Sometimes do. You know how they were selling that A Court of Silver Flames? They were selling the dust jacket just on Etsy, was it, I think? Because everyone hates the new covers so much and they don't match. So for people who wanted it to match, they just sold the dust jacket and you could just change it.
But that was insane because Illumicrate also did the exclusive like dust jackets. And those things, like, they were literally like the 5 dust jackets they sold for like $400. And I was like, you're paying $400 for 5 pieces of paper. Like, I'm sorry, but that's essentially what it is. And I mean, it didn't even sell out fast. There were a lot of boxes. I think they had more stock than they had subscribers, which is something that they rarely ever do.
Who was the artist?
Elythian. I think that's
Yeah.
how you pronounce it. Alithian art. I mean, they are very, very pretty.
Hmm.
I gotta turn it this way.
I
Like the
mean, you
line-
pay for the art as well, but 400. I mean,
yeah, it's insane. Like they're pretty and they're really good quality as well. They're like the matte, very smooth, velvety texture. They're like really good quality, but still $400 for a set of dust jackets. Like, I'm sorry, but no.
Yeah, that's pretty outrageous.
Hmm.
It's like, I was gonna. Oh, I think we talked about this last time, but it's like I was gonna buy the new Stranger Dreamer. Like there was a special like a box, and it was like really pretty, but it was like 100 quid, like dollars, and then another like 50 or more than that for shipping. I was like,
Yep.
no.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to have to pay customs on that as well because I ordered them.
I was like, no.
But they're so pretty, and I just had to have them. But they were like, I mean, I did pay to have early access as well for like the Lunicorn, so I also got $10 off. But like in the end, I think it was like $136 or something. It was including shipping, but that's like 115 euros or something.
oh,
Which means like the import taxes and everything I'm going to have to pay are not going to be pretty, but we'll get there when we get there. It'll be fine.
Wow, I was like, I'm too like not prudent, but you know what I mean, like frugal for it. I'm just like, out of principle, I'm not paying that much for a book. I was like, no way in hell. I was
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
they're really pretty though.
Hmm.
Really pretty.
yeah, for me it's always do I really want the book, and do I think the book is going to be like increasing in value a lot over time? So like, is it going to be easy to get secondhand? And I just don't think these will be very easy to get secondhand, especially in Europe.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, but I mean, obviously, everyone has to make that choice for themselves. It's a lot of money, and I hesitated a lot before buying them. But yeah, I mean, where's my stack? I'm sitting in front of my stack. There's my stack. So
Mm.
this is literally all Strange and Muse.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I need to buy the normal hardback because the English, I don't know the American, but the UK paperback is not it. So I need to get the hardback. Although I prefer paperback, but still.
Yeah.
What's wrong
but
with the paperback? Is it like stiff or?
Like the cover is like very uninspired, and I just really love the book, and I think the hardback's really pretty. Yeah, it's just like all right, but it doesn't like.
Yeah.
I think the hardback's so much prettier. So since I really love it, I might as well just like buy the.
It's pretty floppy though. It's
Okay.
like it's decently
That's all
floppy,
it was.
but letters are tiny, 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 tiny. Like
Oh wow.
super
This
tiny.
is why I love this edition. They're pretty and floppy. It's like, how often do you get that?
Yeah, but I'm really surprised because these are the US editions, and US paperbacks tend to be very stiff, in my opinion. Like, no, sorry, UK like
It is very
paperbacks.
simple.
US paperbacks are generally floppy, but these are, like I said, these are pretty decent. Like, but they're pretty boring. But
Yeah.
Go to bed. I hope you don't have much to do tomorrow. Well, yeah. So, do you want to go for 20 minutes this time?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let me try it. I tried the sound, it doesn't work, so it's just gonna have a nice background until I figure out how to put the sound.
No worries.
Mm. Yeah. You ready? Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Right. If I'm going to talk, I have to unmute.
Oh, yeah. How did you do?
I got like 26 pages, I think. I'm right at the start of chapter 14 now. But I could have done more, but a package arrived, so I had to go downstairs to get the door.
Are we getting an unboxing or?
Oh, it's already unboxed. This is just like the empty packaging. But like, I can show you. That's not a problem. Let me just grab them. They were like the last 2 books of a large order. So this is like the 5th volume of, no, this is the 1st volume of Isola, and this is the 5th volume of Monstrous.
This monster is good. I really want to try that one.
I love Monstrous.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's a bit gory, so if you don't like gore, it's probably not for you, but I really like it. I think it's really beautifully drawn as well. It's very, very detailed drawing style. I really like it personally.
Have you
Yeah.
both read them up to the last one, or?
Well, I still have to read the 5th one, but I read the other 4.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of like what volume I have up here.
Mm.
Okay, I've got War Child and Chosen. I'm trying to remember. They don't have the volumes. They just have War Child and Chosen on the side.
War Child is the 5th one. So that's, I think, the last one that's been published so far. I think the 6th one is scheduled to be published in September? Saying off the top of my head with a very big question mark.
Yeah, so I'm current right now.
Yeah.
And
yeah, like I had a very rough day like last week, so I just ordered 12 books.
You deserve them.
Yeah. My bank account disagrees.
Always. But Monstrous has been on my TBR for ages, so.
Same.
Yeah, like I said, it is gory, but I love like the drawing style. And
But what's the story? Like, obviously, don't say much because it's quite short. But like the few first pages, what it is about? I don't even know that actually.
Kira, how are we going to explain?
a girl wakes up and she's missing part of her arm.
Yeah, that's like the very first start. Yeah.
Okay.
And we don't know what happened, but
she blacked out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's basically like monsters, different countries going to war. It's a bit like steampunk style, I think.
Okay.
It's just like very broad terms. It's like basically war between different peoples. Yeah, monsters, gore.
I love it. Like it's so detailed. Like there's so much detail like to the story and everything. And I love the cats. I love the cats.
Yeah. Yeah, like the interjections of the cats are brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like they have like a long like way to go like before like this is even close to being done because like there's so much to it.
Yeah, I remember thinking like I think it was when after I finished like the 3rd, and at first I thought it was just like the last one because in my mind the series was a trilogy. I don't even know why, but it was definitely not the end. And like right now I just finished the 4th one. And, well, no, not just. It was a while ago, but it's just like I have no idea how many more books this is going to be because there's so much more like left to explore, but also just left to the story, I think, before it can be wrapped up.
Yeah. I love it so much though.
Yeah.
So good.
One day, hopefully this year.
Yeah.
Same. I feel like with me in graphic novels, it's just like I'm always like, but it's so expensive and so short, and I just have to get over that and like Also, like, because it comes out in issues, I guess I can just buy one at a time, so it hurts a bit less. But it's just like,
Yeah.
man.
So I bought another graphic novel, and I thought it was like, oh, this is perfect for a readathon, like a 3-day readathon I'm doing. It's really not. This thing is like 600 pages, and it's like manga style, so it's like, for me, it's backwards. And it's just, I'm super stressed out by it because I've never read like a manga before.
I heard good things about that one though.
I love Uzumaki. It's so okay. So I read the other like one that they did, Tomi, but and Tomi's like the one that he's kind of known for, but Uzumaki, well, for me, like was better than Tomi because like it had like a more like every like. So there's like a ton of chapters, like they're all like short stories kind of, and then like I felt like they did like a pretty good job like of kind of like tying all those things like into the end, like the last like few chapters. But Tomi didn't really do that. Tomi was just kind of like all over the place, I felt like, and then like they didn't even like have like a good ending to it. And I know like that's the one he's supposed to be known for, but like Uzumaki was it for me. Like that's the one I like. Uzumaki was really good.
Yeah, I was just, I never checked like specifications on how many pages it was. I was like, oh, this is a horror graphic novel. Let's order this. Because it's like great for a 3-day readathon. And then I got it and I was like, well, this was not my smartest choice. But it'll be fine. I mean,
yeah. I get really like freaked out by, there's like a Japanese style of drawing that's very like visceral with like the grotesque like faces, and I don't know, it just, for me, it's really hard. Like that really freaks me out. I feel like the blood I can take, but it's like really creepy images like that. It's just like, it'll stay in my head forever. So I think I'll probably need to pass on that one because I heard it's pretty scary. But
yeah, it's like from what I've seen so far, there's some pretty like freaky drawings in there. So I mean, I've never really read horror before. I mean, I know I don't do well with movies because it's like I know I'm going to like have nightmares, but my curiosity always wins out, and then I watch them and then I have nightmares. So it's like this vicious circle, because then I'll be curious for the next movie as well, and I'll watch it and then I'll have nightmares. So it's like no end in sight. So I just hope this is not going to be as bad.
Personally, I found the concept to be more haunting, like because Uzumaki like is all about spirals. I cannot look at a spiral now and not think about that book. Like that, the concept has haunted me since I finished that book. Like it's everywhere. Like I can't get away from it now.
Oh no.
But I will say like this, I didn't find like the book itself super scary, but like the fact that the concept is haunting, like is what actually stuck with me. I could read it in the middle of the night. It didn't freak me out, but like it's stuck with me. Like since I read it late last year, I haven't been able like to not think about it. So
fair enough. Yeah. It's just this style of drawing. I'm just like, oh, I can't.
Good
night. Good morning, I suppose. Sleep well.
Yeah, dude.
Same. Like I go like if I want to fall asleep fast, horror movies.
For me, it's like very often it's like when I'm actually watching them, I'm fine, but then I'll be, afterwards I'm laying in bed and then I'll be like, well, crap, because then I start thinking about everything that happened in the movie, and especially if it's something like ghosts, I just don't do. I mean, blood and gore and chopping off limbs and everything, I mean, sure, fine, like doesn't really bother me, but like ghosts, I don't do ghosts.
Yeah, I hear you. There was like, I remember I was like quite young. I must have been like 10, I don't know, whatever. I went downstairs and my parents were watching a movie. It was a horror movie. And it was like one where the mirrors, there were like evil people in the mirrors and they could like grab you. To this day, I'm scared of mirrors.
Which one was that? I mean, it wasn't the same one I watched, but I had that with Sinister, when the creepy dude is in the mirror and then he moves. And like every time I have to use the bathroom at night, I have to walk past 2 mirrors. And it's like,
I have no mirror in my room.
And then you look down and I'm always like, what am I gonna find?
Yeah.
Yeah, mirror is scary. So yeah, I feel
Yeah.
you on that.
And I remember like when I was still with my now ex-boyfriend, we we were like sleeping on mattresses on the floor, like next to the bed, because it was like a single bed and we wanted to sleep, next to each
Mm.
other. But I was like looking under the bed the entire time, and like when I opened my eyes, and I was so freaked out. Like there was nothing under the bed. Like there was like absolutely nothing happening, but it was just so scary somehow. It's just
How
like
the brain works
yeah.
sometimes, and like you
Yeah, because
feel something, there is nothing, but you feel something.
yeah, because very
It's
often, like during the movie, I'll be like, "Well, jump scare incoming," like I can predict them flawlessly. But then when I'm in bed, it's like, "Oh hell no!"
It's so
Yeah.
funny because we were just talking the other day at dinner with like my boyfriend and his family, and his dad was complaining because my boyfriend like keeps running up the stairs at night after he's used the bathroom and wakes him up. And we're like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you always running?" He's like, "Because I'm scared. Like I'm scared of this." He's for some reason really freaked out by the stairs, so he has to run. And his sister was like, "Oh my god, me too!" And I keep running like back to the bed because I'm so scared. We were like, "Why are you scared of? The light is on anyways." Like, so funny.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What? My boyfriend's 23, 4, and then his sister's like 28." And it's like, "What are you scared of?" Oh, so funny.
Okay, something ruined rabbits. I don't
Night.
know that one. Night of the Lepus?
I think
Lepus?
that is the like 1970s movie, like with a bunch of like giant rabbits like running all over the set. I'm not sure if that's what I'm thinking.
You said giant rabbit, so for me
Yeah.
it sounds funny. I don't know.
Well, that sounds that sounds like those parody horror movies, but they might be scary.
I think it was meant to be serious, but like if you like watch it like now, because I watched it I think like about 5 years ago, and I was just like, this is not even scary to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it depends what's the story about. Like, are the rabbits eating you? Are they bloody, etc.? Like, never mind. I'm going way too far now.
I don't quite remember, but like I just remember the giant rabbits like all over the place. So
How did they get the idea sometimes? Like, uh, that's just insane. Like, I don't know. I remember, like, what was that? So? Is it so like number one, two, three, four, five, six, like gorish kind of horror movies? No?
Saw.
Oh,
Yeah,
Saw.
so
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I really liked that though. I liked the first one especially.
yeah.
I
I
think there's
love
like
them.
one scene with like the dude wearing like the pig's head behind the plastic
Mhm.
curtain thing. That
Yeah.
freaked me out. But like other than that, I thought it was like fine. Like I said, gore doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, but do you know where they got the ideas from?
No.
They went to how do you call that? An asylum?
Yeah.
Asylum? Yeah.
Asylum.
Yeah.
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 And they asked people, what would you do to your doctor? What would you do to your mom? And they picked up all the ideas and made the movies. So that's
Okay.
scary, actually.
That's
Scarier than the movies.
yeah. That's pretty disturbing, honestly.
Yeah.
Yep. Rena said, I thought that Harry Potter was a horror as a kid, those huge spiders. I agree. I remember
Don't get me
watching the
started on the
second
first
one when I was
one.
little.
I just
So,
hated the first one, like the scene in the forest with him like draining the unicorn. I was like, mind you, I was like 7 at the time or something. Wait, when was this? This was 2001. I was 6 actually. I was 6. So like I did a jump scare behind the couch because of that scene, and then I didn't dare watch the second movie like until after my sister had watched it, and like she reassured me like, no, it's fine. You'll be fine.
no, the second one's so much scarier though, but that's because I really don't like spiders and I never did. And when I was little, I was always like watching those scenes like this, and I was just
Yeah.
like, "Mom, can you tell me when they're going away?"
Yeah, I can imagine that though.
Mm, so scary.
Yeah, spiders are disgusting. Good night. Thank you for
Yeah,
joining
thanks
us.
for coming.
Right. So yeah, like part of my book haul, I think Sasha's going to be happy.
Yay!
Like, I
That's a
was
good
so
one.
surprised by how tiny it is. Like, I knew it wasn't very big, but it's actually like a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
all
those are
very
very
short,
Mm.
but
Yeah, it's like not even 200 pages, I think.
no,
I think
not
at least
that one.
No,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
175, and that's like the about the author. So that's like the very end. So the actual book is a couple pages shorter as well.
Yeah, but there is so much in them. Like, it's so short, but amazing.
Yeah, no, I really wanted to read them, so I figured like I might just order. But then, I mean, I also ordered this, so
Yeah, I don't know.
okay.
Do you have guys any like thriller kind of recommendation? Because Rena was talking about audiobooks. I never actually listened to a thriller audiobook. And do you have one you would recommend?
Do you like science fiction?
Yeah.
Blake either Blake Crouch's Dark Matter was really good.
Yeah.
Or his other one. Let me I can't remember the name of it. Hold on.
Okay, so I'm not sure whether
Recursion? I think that's the second Recursion.
Yeah, Recursion, that's it. Yeah. They're both like they both mess with time, but like there's also kind of like a very like especially like Recursion, I felt like there was kind of a grotesque element to it. So it's so good though. It's so good.
It's been on my TBR for ages, but I didn't know the audiobooks were good. So
I don't know about the audiobooks.
Oh.
Audible just had a 2-for-1 on their on some of theirs, so I rebought Dark Matter as a audiobook because I want my stepdad to listen to it because he loves science fiction. So I'll be hopefully like re-listening like to that at some point, but I know the books like themselves, like the content's really good.
I only listened to one thriller, I think, on audiobook, and it was the Wife Upstairs, which is like a recent release. It was alright. The audiobook was alright. The audiobook was good. The book was alright, I would say, because the performance was actually really good. Because some of them had like Southern American accents, and like I think they did a really good job. The book was like okay, but it wasn't like the most thrilling. Like you could pretty much no, because it's like a retelling of Jane Eyre as well, so you get a bit of an idea. I really like this His and Hers. I think it's a thriller, but I haven't listened to it. Pet Cemetery.
Michael Hall, I believe, is the one that plays Dexter.
Oh.
Don't want to be scared.
Also on my TBR for ages. My gosh, so many books.
The Dexter books are actually pretty entertaining because like they do have books out there. And I actually got so mad at the TV series, I stopped watching it because like I felt like they completely ruined that character. In the books, he actually like he's a serial killer that kills other serial killers, but he kills his victims like his victims kill other people. So he never has a definitive pattern, but they completely messed that up like in the series, and they made it like, oh, he's gonna get caught, and it's like, no, he was trained a lot better than that. And I felt like, oh, don't get me started on the series. Let's stop.
I watched first couple seasons, which were good, but then I thought it was just kind of derailed, and then I stopped.
The books are so funny. The second book like had this serial killer like in it who was a doctor, and this is like all takes place in like Miami, and he never actually kills his victims. He turns them into human pillows, and he has a license plate that's that says pro life. on his van, a pro-life license plate because he never kills anybody. And there's like those like little details, but like the books are so funny. Like I really love the books. They're hilarious for being darker content.
How many?
I think there's about 7 or 8 of them. I never finished the series. I read like I think about the first 4 or 5 books, but like I actually was really enjoying it. Like everything that I've read so far, I've really enjoyed.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was based on books, but now I'm kind of intrigued.
They're so good.
Yeah.
I Sadie. It was really good.
I actually read the book. I didn't listen to the audiobook, so I got it in a bookish box, so I was like pretty excited, and I actually loved it.
Yeah, and the audiobook was just so good because those podcasts bits, they were made like a real podcast, and it was like really, really interesting and like engaging to listen to. Her other book, I also listened to the it's a project, I think, the newest one.
Yeah.
I listened to
Yeah.
the audiobook. I wouldn't say it doesn't have those like multimedia aspects to it, but it was still pretty good, and it's kind of a thriller, kind of a book cults. It was like it was pretty good actually. I did enjoy it, but it's not like amazing. I think Sadie was a bit better.
Was Sadie her first book?
Mm-mm.
I'm not
No.
sure.
No.
Okay.
She's got like another book that I want to read. It's called This Is Not a Test. And it's like, I guess it's like a zombie apocalypse, but the entire book takes place like inside of a building. So I think it's kind of like more of a psychological thing. I'm hoping to get to that one soon too. I've got a really long TBR, but that one's supposed to be really good, like from what I heard.
Yeah, a book that just came to my mind that was kind of like, I guess maybe a thriller. It's called The Test by Sylvia Nouvelle, I think. And it was a really good audiobook, and the book is amazing. It's like really short, really, really short, but I thought the audiobook narrator did such a good job, and it like enhanced it. If you want to check that one out, it's kind of like maybe not a thriller, but a little bit, I think.
Who's the author?
Sylvia Nouvelle, I think.
Yeah, Sylvain Neuvel. Sylvia Nouvelle.
He wrote Only Human, etc., right?
Yes.
Not sure.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So do we count like murder mysteries as thrillers? Because I mean, I'm not sure if there's an audiobook, but one I really enjoyed was this one, The Strings of Murder by Oscar de Muriel. So this is set in Edinburgh in 1888. So this is like Victorian England, basically. And I'm still not sure whether it's actually like paranormal or not. Like whether the things that are happening can actually be explained scientifically, or whether it's actual paranormal. But yeah, I really enjoyed these. I just finished the third one, and it was actually like a murder mystery in which a murder didn't even happen. So, but they're really good. They're pretty creepy in my opinion, and I just love like the Edinburgh gloom, basically. So yeah, like I said, I'm not sure if there's an audiobook for this, but I could just recommend this anyway. And another one that's like a YA thriller, it's like way up there, I'm not going to grab it, is Follow Me Down by Tanya Byrne. That's like, it is like contemporary in that sense. And I'm not going to say anything because that would be spoilers, but it's basically like a dual timeline. You have like event X, I'm just going to call it event X. And like the one timeline starts at the beginning and runs until event X. And then the second timeline starts at event X until like the end of the book, basically. But they run at the same time, if that makes sense. So the one line gets closer to event X and the other one gets further away from event X. And it's so confusing, like right until after you finish it, but then once basically it hits you what they've done, you're just sitting there like, whoa. Because at first I didn't like the ending because I just didn't get it, and then I went back and read the last couple of chapters, and then I was just like,
Is it by is it this one, Sherry Smith? Or
no, it's by Tanya Byrne, so TanyAByrne. That one, yeah. Yeah,
add that to my TBR. It sounds good.
It's so hard to explain without spoiling things, but it's like such a good book, and it's so twisty. And then like the book doesn't spell everything out for you. Like you really have to figure out some things for yourself as well.
They want you to say the title again. Miss Rena wants you to say the title.
Yeah, it's Follow Me Down.
I will put the link. Yeah. Because it sounds really good and intriguing. The fact that the two timelines are like before and after, but the fact that it is after while reading the before is not spoilery. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
Sounds
it's
intriguing.
like
Yeah.
the after becomes spoilery when the before becomes clear, basically. It's really weird, but it's like so well done. But it's like that's why I don't want to say too much, because it's like that would be major spoilers because of what happens. But it's like it's such a good book. And like at first, I'll be honest, I didn't like it because I didn't get it. I didn't get what had happened, and I was so confused. But then I was just like laying in bed and I was like mulling it over, and then suddenly, you know, there was like the moment where your eyes just like pop open and like, whoa, I get it now. It's yeah, I can only recommend it. And also because I like that they don't spell it out. Because like you're really going to have to keep paying attention, because otherwise you're going to miss stuff that's important for later.
Mm.
But it's like once the ending feels so random and anticlimactic, but once you actually realize, you know, what basically happens, then that's when you're like, okay, that's kind of creepy.
Sounds good.
I'm adding so many books to my TBR. But yeah. Would you like to go one more time for 20 minutes or
Yeah, sure.
yeah? Okay. Let's share the screen.
I'm just surrounded by books right now because I'm too lazy to just put them back.
Isn't it paradise?
Yeah, it'll be a hazard to stand up though, because I'm probably going to trip.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. How'd you guys do?
I'm currently
actually.
at page 75.
So, did you just start it today? I mean, now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 68.
52.
Decent progress.
Yeah. I'm actually reading a book, for work, because there is like a soft skill seminar going on Tuesday, and the guy actually wrote a book about like leadership. So I'm trying to read it before saying hi to the guy. And actually, it's really interesting because it's a story. I was expecting a book like tips and tricks or, a description of a situation, whatever, and then the pros and cons or whatever. But all of this is a story. And then at the end, you have the analysis of everything that happened leadership wise. So that's quite like different from what I'm used to for those kind of books. So
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Definitely
yeah,
a bit different.
yeah. And it's not fantasy, it's not sci-fi. That's good for a change. But yeah.
Yeah.
So are you all enjoying the book? I mean, some rereads, but still enjoying it.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
a little bit
definitely remember nothing.
disoriented. I feel like a little bit disoriented because like this is like a shift, like in like it's not doesn't pick up exactly like where the last book left off. So I'm kind of like trying to figure out like, okay, like where's everybody at?
Yeah, I think it's deliberately written that way because, yeah, like at the beginning, it doesn't start off with Karu's perspective, basically.
Mhm.
So, like, what's happening? Where is everyone? I mean, it's very deliberate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so far I'm enjoying, but I remember nothing. I'm just like, it's like the first time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
it's
think.
good too.
Sorry?
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
I mean,
kind of nice actually.
yeah, it's good that you don't remember everything. So it's like you're gonna judge it because of the nostalgia thing, but also because of everything you forgot, you like rediscovering kind of thing. So
Yeah, definitely. And I'm like still surprised, still interested, just because I'm like, I have no clue. Literally no clue. I have such bad memory.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this is, I think, my favorite one out of all three of them. So.
Oh, well, we'll see. So far, so good.
I mean, that's good. That's good. Gonna talk more about it in May, right?
May
Do I
1st.
have my agenda?
1st of
May
May, yeah.
1st? Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna put like all the information in the Dropbox. I mean the Dropbox. Oh my gosh, description box. Sasha, come on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
That was very fun. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Everyone's channel is linked down below, so you can check them out. Don't check mine. Mine is empty. I haven't uploaded anything in a month. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, everyone. Thank you so much. Good night. Have a nice day, whatever time it is where you are.
Yeah.
And talk to you soon.
Bye,
Bye.
Bye bye.
everyone.